If you're watching this, you're probably in the same place that I was a few weeks ago. Your motivation's gone, you're tired, and honestly, you don't know how to get yourself back on track. But here's the truth. Discipline is not built when you feel good. It's built when you're stressed, overwhelmed, exhausted, unmotivated, but you still decide to show up anyways. And this is why most of us struggle to build discipline in the first place. Not because we're lazy, but because we try to associate discipline with a fuel source that was never meant to be there in the first place. Discipline and motivation are not the same thing. So here's the plan for today. First, I'm going to show you why discipline feels impossible to build and why the last couple of attempts that you've had to try to build discipline have not stuck. Then I'm going to show you how to build discipline in your own life using the stuff that I've implemented into mine. This is the kind of stuff that works even when you're drained and unmotivated. If this sounds like something that you might need right now and you want to learn, let's get into it. Before we fix your discipline, we need to break down why discipline has been so hard in the first place and why motivation doesn't work. The first reason that discipline has been so hard is because of the motivation myth. From the time that we were kids, we were always taught to wait until you feel ready for something. But the reality is that motivation is an emotion, and emotions swing very often. So here's what's happening. You get a burst of motivation. You get a burst of that emotion. You start hard, you work hard, and you make a lot of progress. But then, at the same time that emotion dies, the motivation dies, and all your momentum dies. But the entire systems in your life depended on that motivation, so of course you fall off and have to reset entirely. Not because you're weak or you messed up, but you were relying on a fuel source that you were never meant to rely on in the first place. You've been trying to use motivation as the fuel for everything. And motivation works for like a day. Motivation feels great when it's happening, but then the moment that goes away, the moment you get stressed, all of it resets and you have to go back to zero. The second reason that you can't keep your discipline is because you keep using willpower like it's a system. We like to think of discipline as just trying harder, but the reality is willpower is your phone battery, and eventually that is going to drain. If your entire day relies on willpower, like waking up, not scrolling, being productive, eventually that's going to all be gone by noon. So you don't need more willpower, you need less reliance on it. Third reason that you can't keep your discipline is because of your identity conflict. This one is huge because you're doing disciplined actions while still telling yourself and believing that you're a person that struggles with discipline. So every single time that you try to be consistent, your identity pulls you back. This is a mismatch that needs to be fixed. I'm not a disciplined person, I always fall off, and I never stick to anything are words that are keeping you trapped in a non-consistent environment. Your actions and your identity are fighting, and your identity is always going to win because it's what's inside of you, it's what your core is. When your identity and your behavior don't match, your brain is always going to pull you back to what it knows. This is why you can have a good week and then fall off out of nowhere. You never updated the identity that was supposed to keep the discipline alive. The fourth reason that you cannot keep your discipline is because your goals are too big and too drastic. If your goals are too big and not broken down into actionable steps, your brain will want to avoid that and not see it as something that it can achieve. So your brain is going to do everything in its power, along with the identity, to keep you trapped and not actually pushing forward. So you need to define your goals and break them down so that they don't seem so big and so that you can actually go after them and build discipline on the side. The other common trap with this is that you tell yourself that you're going to fix everything like right now and today, and that's not possible. And when you do this, your brain will immediately go into panic mode, and your brain in panic mode will try to avoid everything to protect you from said panic. This avoidance becomes the procrastination problem you face, the guilt you face, and everything repeats over and over. So no, discipline is not failing because you weren't trying hard enough. It's failing because you were trying too much at once. Now that you understand why you haven't been able to maintain your discipline in the past, let's talk about the good part. How to build it and how to keep it consistent. These are the systems that have worked for me even when I felt very empty and drained, and I promise you they will do the same thing for you. The first system that has allowed me to build discipline in my life is automating my first daily win. This is something as simple as when you wake up in the morning, drinking a glass of water, cleaning off your desk, opening your laptop, hopping straight in the shower. Whatever you gotta do, make it as easy as possible and get it done immediately. The goal with this is not to be productive the moment that you wake up. The goal is just to get started and get into a loop of positive habits that are gonna keep you consistent and keep you building discipline. Because once you actually start something, your brain switches from avoidance mode to action mode. And that one small shift in the morning is enough to build you proper momentum to use throughout the entire day. The second system that allowed me to build a lot of discipline in my life is to reduce the friction in your life everywhere. This one is the real cheat code. You don't need more discipline, you need less barriers in your life. Every single step between you and the task that you need to accomplish is more friction that you need to eliminate. Things like finding your notebook, finding your keys, finding an outfit even, finding what drink you want to have, what meal you want to have, all of these things will cause more friction and cause more choice fatigue that you don't need to deal with. So here's your new rule. Make the start of the task as easy as possible. One of my most common examples and the things that help me the most with this system is always picking out my outfit the night before. So I will always pick out my outfit, have it sitting on my bathroom counter, ready to go. That way the moment that I wake up, I can pop out of bed, head into the bathroom, already have my outfit there and hop in the shower. I don't have to think about the little details about what I want to wear, what the weather is, all that sort of stuff. I figure that out the night before when I have a bit more motivation for the morning. You basically just want to set things up so that you can start instantly. Make the disciplined choice the easy choice and don't make it the other way around. The third system in my life that has really helped me with my discipline is the 2-minute rule. This 2-minute rule is different from the other 2-minute rules that you'll hear online. This one is more of a personal one. This is something where I don't put a task on the to-do list if I can do it in 2 minutes. Something as simple as immediately doing your dishes so they don't pile up. If you put one plate in the sink, it's super easy to go ahead and put that in the dishwasher. That way you don't have to have those things pile up. Taking out the trash, cleaning your apartment, all of those things are quick 2-minute tasks that if you just do them in the now, you don't have to worry about procrastinating them. Your brain will then see that as the identity of a new and disciplined person that get things done. So this little rule does a lot. For one, it gets your physical tasks done. That's the most important part, to be completely honest. If you put a dish in the sink and you get it done, you don't have to worry about those dishes later. Congratulations. Also with your identity. If you see yourself and your brain sees you as a person that is doing good things consistently, getting those things done, it is going to make you feel like you're building discipline. It's going to show your brain that you are building discipline and being consistent with your small and little tasks. It all flows in to be perfect, to make you more productive, you more quick and actionable and not having things pile up. It also changes your identity so that you can build the discipline you want to achieve the goals and the level of consistency that you want in your own life. So, the 2-minute rule. If you can do it in 2 minutes, don't put it on the to-do list. Just do it now. The fourth system that has really changed things for me is a daily anchor. This is the thing that no matter what happens in the day, you're going to get this one thing done. And if you get this one thing done, you're going to allow yourself to feel good, feel disciplined, and feel consistent, even if you did drop the ball on a couple other tasks throughout your day. Just one thing that is going to define your identity for the day and allow you to see yourself as a consistent and disciplined person. For me, it's recording one video per day on my phone. If it's other people, it's going to the gym, it's eating one clean meal. All of those sorts of things play into this process. When your day gets messy, which it sometimes will, this anchor makes you feel consistent and disciplined even when everything around you is telling you the opposite. The fifth system that I've implemented into my life is making continuing harder than quitting. You make building discipline in your life easier when the option to build discipline becomes easier than the option of not. Some examples of this is putting your phone in another room when you need to study and get work done. It could also be going to a completely different location when you need to study and get work done to switch up your environment. You need to keep your distractions far away and change your environment into a productive one so it's easier to stay productive compared to not being productive. So the most common example I use for this, when I have to study or just do a casual homework assignment, I'll do it right here at my desk. But if I have something like a huge essay that I have to write by tomorrow, that's when I'm going to go to the campus library and force myself to sit there and do it. Because if I move to the campus library, if I took the effort to drive 10 minutes over to campus and walk to the library and talk to a couple people along the way or whatever, if I'm taking that effort, I'm going to sit there and finish that essay until it's done. If I don't take that effort, I might sit on this desk, get a ding on my phone, and then I'm scrolling on Instagram for 30 minutes. So remove those barriers and make the option to continue harder than the option of quitting. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this: motivation is fragile and emotional. Discipline is consistent and great. You definitely don't have to change your life over the weekend, and you don't have to plan your next day to be miserable with the amount of new habits that you're trying to implement. You just need to focus on building the small wins, remove the distractions that keep you stuck, and focus on rebuilding the identity that shows that you are a disciplined and consistent person. Discipline isn't something that you have to wait for, it's something that you design and build with systems in your life to build it. Discipline is something you need. Motivation is important because it's an emotion, but we can't let those emotions dictate every single decision we make on a daily basis. That's why we need discipline. If this video has helped you, my procrastination guide is the best next step you can take in this process. Procrastination will still come up when you're trying to build discipline, and there's still a lot of hidden reasons why you might procrastinate that's beyond just what's on the surface. The same reasons that it's hard to build discipline because you're not aware of certain things, it's the same reason that it's sometimes hard to avoid procrastinating because you don't know exactly what's going on in your mind. That's exactly what I break down in that video. If you're interested in watching it, click right here.